Two men, two microphones, one movie, a couple of beers, and some wildly outlandish critiques about the movies you may or may not love. The following review will have massive spoilers and possibly offensive commentary. This content may not be suitable for little bitches. Brought to you by Goat Straw Entertainment and some liquid courage.
What's up, movie lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. This show is all about critiquing movies, from movies currently in theaters all the way to old black and white films that are considered classics.
We're just a couple of ordinary guys with an extraordinary passion for film. And these critiques are our point of view and should not be your reason to not watch a movie from time to time. Movies are subjective, and if you see a movie that's not meant for you, that means it doesn't mean it's not for somebody else.
Yeah, we discuss every genre and budget level film on this show, and with the current estimation of 500,000 feature films in existence, I think we may have our work cut out for us.
That's a lot. So
grab a snack, grab a beer, take a load off. So we got a lot of ground to cover.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
Ground to cover. All right, so we're gonna go over the movie we're gonna discuss today. Today we're gonna discuss Malignant. Malignant is right now it's streaming on HBO Max. I believe it's in theaters. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. I don't think it's in
I don't see why not. It probably is.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
When this comes out, fuck you. All right, so. We're going to go over the outline. This is our horror outline, so that we're going to use this outline for every horror movie we do. So we're going to do the intro, first 15 minutes of the movie, the cast, the wardrobe, the writing, the score, direction, practical effects, computer effects, suspense buildup, so tension, the classic iconic chase scene, gore, framework, the don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
Can't wait for that one. And then outro. So the last 15 minutes of the movie, the conclusion. So now we're going to do a quick synopsis of the movie. I'm actually going to read it because it's like,
yeah, read it.
It's actually like a sentence long.
All right, cool.
Did you know that this movie was crime, horror, mystery, thriller?
Oh, really?
That's how it's categorized on here on IMDb. So let's do this. Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking demons are in fact terrifying realities. So that's the synopsis of the movie.
That's pretty good. Like I believed I was in a theater right there. That was pretty good.
Every time I do that voice, I always think of South Park. You ever watch that episode when they use the movie guy and he keeps on doing like these weird movie voices, like Stan Marsh is like, it's so silly. So silly.
I've never seen that before, but I'm gonna pay attention now.
We'll cover it at one point in time. So let's do the intro.
Let's do it.
First 15 minutes of the film, Manny, what did you think of the first 15 minutes?
First 15 minutes of the film, to be honest, it felt like it was like a Batman movie, and it was like taking a picture of Arkham, freaking for that insane asylum, that hospital.
Mm-hmm. The institution.
It's exactly what it looked like to me. The graphics on it for what they made it look like, it almost seemed like if it was going to be like a Batman movie. I don't remember if there was like lightning in the background, but
there was no lightning.
Okay, cool. It was just some type of hospital or insane asylum on a cliff.
It's a mental institution.
Yeah.
Right? So they help people with disabilities.
I was like, wow, okay. That's how we're going to start this off. Cool.
Yeah, so it starts off with shows the institution. It's on a cliff, like overseeing a lake, and the camera's just kind of slowly panning across the cliffside.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the doctor. The doctor's just in her office. She's kind of doing what we're doing. She's video She's video recording herself. So she has the documentation for all the info.
And then all of a sudden, something happens where she has to get up, and Gabriel got out or whatever. And
yeah, that's the first sign that the first bit of information that they give you is they're like, oh, he escaped again.
Yeah,
like Gabriel got out. So
Gabriel
now we
got
have
out.
a name. And so they're trudging down the hall really quickly, right? And just so you guys know, we'll go over the acting in a little bit, but it's not very good in the beginning.
No.
And for the whole movie. And so they're running through the hallway, and they get to the room, and they're like, don't go in there. He'll kill you. And then, like, she like pushes the nurse aside, and then, like, goes up to the door, and the door has like a window so she can look into it, and someone hits the window and blood splatters all over it. So that effect is really cool. And then she looks at the cop that she's with, and she's like, take him down. Like, I'm like, okay, chill out, dude.
And then he freaking puts a tranquilizer in the shotgun, starts to go towards the door.
It's not a shotgun.
Whatever.
Dipshit.
In the gun. Goes towards the door and peeks into the door to try to find him, and then he gets pulled in, and then
you hear some brakes,
and you actually see the bone,
the
and
compound
everything.
fracture.
And let me tell you, the graphic on that was not very good.
It was kind of cheesy.
It looked very cheesy.
I didn't even mind the bone part. The part that made me laugh the most is when he pulled him out, and he's like, ah! It's very
the acting on that was
it's very 80s.
Yeah,
it really
is.
It
felt that way for sure.
It's very 80s.
To me, it was more comical than it actually was.
So
like horror.
So
and
the
scary.
police officer that was trained to use that weapon, with the tranks and everything,
yeah,
he gets fucked up. The fucking doctor opens the door, grabs the gun, and then shoots Gabriel. I'm like, the fucking doctor?
The doctor.
Dude, you shooting me?
This bitch goes, yeah, and then just psh.
Like can we make a horror movie that's at least a little bit realistic? At least, because this is, I would classify this movie not the way they classified it. They classified it crime, horror, mystery, thriller. I would definitely go thriller, horror, mystery, slasher. Because it's definitely a slasher film.
Not really a slasher.
This movie is definitely a slasher film.
I wouldn't.
It has a lot of tendencies. We'll get to those.
Yeah.
We'll get to those.
But
so she shoots Gabriel.
Shoots.
You can hear him.
Gabriel.
They don't show him get hit with the dart or anything. They just show, like, you hear a thud, and then you hear, like, him winding down.
Yeah.
And then
they drag the body,
and then there's like a little zoom. I like this shot because they drag the body, and you clearly see the socks of a child.
Yeah.
So all right, so we got another piece of information that this is not like a full-grown adult at this institution. It's a child.
It's a child.
Yeah. And then the nurse looks around the room. There's all this blood. There's nurses and other staff and security all just shredded apart and just all over the place. So it looks good, right? That looks good.
Yeah.
And then she's all like, walks over towards Gabriel, and then she's like, it's time to cut out the cancer.
Yep, time to cut out the cancer.
And then, like, they do a pan over to Gabriel, and it's like this weird, disfigured,
it almost looks alien. It
does look
like
alien,
that.
right? And
we don't know what it is.
It has the arms that are like,
yeah, we don't know what it is in the beginning, but it just looks very alien-esque. So that it doesn't give you like a clear image, but that's pretty much what it was. I mean,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the first 15.
So I don't know. I wasn't really taken by it. I think my favorite part of that whole intro was the panning shot of the institution. The rest of it was kind of like, it was way too overdone. It was very cheesy.
I'm not even sure if the panning shot of the institution was my favorite because it was like graphics, it doesn't even seem like a real building.
Oh, that's definitely not a real building.
So I'm not even sure.
It's not a real building
because
for
the
sure.
graphic didn't even look as great on that either. So
of that 15 minutes, that was my favorite part.
Of that 15 minutes, so I didn't really have a favorite part of the 15 minutes. It just didn't. It didn't do it for me.
All right. So now we're going to jump into cast. So let's start off with Madison Mitchell. Right. So that's Madison Mitchell is played by actress Annabelle Wallace. So Maddie's the main character. And then there's this is kind of funny. Maddie Hassan. She plays Sydney Lake. She plays Madison's sister.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. George Young plays Kakoa Shaw. Mitchell, Brianna White plays Regina Moss. She's the other police officer. Jean Louisa Kelly, I'm sorry, is the Jane Doe. So it's the Serena. Susanna Thompson plays Jean. Jake Abel is Derek Mitchell.
Yep.
Jacqueline McKenzie is Dr. Florence Weaver. Christian Clemenson is Dr. Victor Fields. Amir Abuela is Dr. Gregory.
Yep.
And I think the rest of these are going to be kind of irrelevant.
You already said Annabelle Wallace, right?
Yeah. Oh, this was. I thought this was an interesting one. I don't know if you saw this on here. Zoe Bell is in this movie.
Zoe Bell.
You know who Zoe Bell is? Okay, so Zoe Bell's she used to specialize in stunts, and now she does a little bit of both, like acting and stunts. And they Tarantino uses her a lot. She was in that movie Death Proof. You ever see Death Proof?
I don't remember if I saw Death Proof.
So Death Proof is the one about the car. The guy's like, this car is death proof, but in order to really get that benefit, you really need to be sitting in my seat. And he kills people. He gives them rides home and he kills them in his car. But Zoe Bell's in that movie. So there's a scene where she gets on the hood of a car. They have this rope attached to each side of the windows, attached to the frame, and they pull it out and they put it over the windshield. She grabs it and then she sits on the hood. And she did that scene as they were flying at I think Tarantino said they were going 85 miles an hour.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they were going really fast. But yeah, she does stunts, and she's been in she does a lot of Tarantino films. She was just, I think, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, Zoe Bell. So I thought that was cool that she was in here. So
cool.
how did you like the cast?
Okay. I'm not too familiar with the cast. I didn't really like any of their acting. It's this movie it just seemed really, really cheesy. You know what I mean?
It was incredibly cheesy. Now
it was really cheesy.
The question is, was it meant to be cheesy?
I don't know.
The thing is, I don't know either.
I don't know.
I didn't watch any trailers on this movie. I didn't hear any.
I wanted to, but after talking to you the other day, I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to fucking just go into this blind.
Yeah.
After going into it blind, it just seemed so corny. I mean, I think it was kind of a fun movie, but it wasn't like a top-notch, award-winning movie.
I definitely don't think it's an award-winning movie.
No, but it was.
There are some interesting premises here, though.
Yeah, interesting premises, definitely entertaining. But it wasn't like anything that really captured me into it. Would I watch it again? I don't know.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I don't know.
Let's move on to wardrobe, since this is a horror movie. We got to include wardrobe.
I mean, if I'm going to mention wardrobe,
we're only going to talk about
Gabriel.
We're only going to talk about Gabriel's wardrobe.
Gabriel's wardrobe. The way they made Gabriel, it looked like that girl from The Ring.
Very much so.
With a trench coat on, gloves, and they gave her a fucking golden knife.
I liked the knife aspect though. Because it was not like it was more like a dagger because the way it was built.
Yeah, I guess more like a dagger. But
also there was like some sentiment behind it because she took the trophy that bitch won and turned it into a murder weapon.
Yeah, she did. She turned it into a fucking murder weapon.
I'm sorry. Gabriel.
He.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah, I mean it was pretty mediocre, right? The wardrobe
it's
is just whatever.
Present day.
Yeah, it was very
T-shirt,
modern. Everyone just modern clothing,
whatever,
So,
suit.
so Gabriel's outfit was the only one even worth mentioning, and it was interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think it was terrifying in any way.
No, it wasn't terrifying, but I mean, I was okay with it. It was definitely different from other like horror movies kind of ordeal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah.
Fuck it.
Let's go on to the next category.
Writing.
All right.
So this is where we're definitely going to start hitting this thing right in the sack. I think the premise for this movie was decent.
See, this is where we start to fucking bicker about shit.
I think the premise was decent. I think the execution was poor. So I feel like this movie could have benefited from one extra, or maybe like a small extra team of writers to kind of collaborate and just make it, just tie in some of the things, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, I could understand where they were trying to go with it, but I mean, it needed to be scarier for a horror movie. It needed to be scarier. It wasn't exactly scary. You know what I mean? It didn't have that feel of a scary movie. I mean, it looked kind of spooky, like you didn't know what was going on, but it wasn't like scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they needed to do something different to make it more horrifying, you know? And I didn't capture that.
All right, so
there were scenes that were disturbing.
This is where I didn't like I didn't like most of the movies because of this. When it started out like a supernatural movie, like we're gonna watch like a ghost story, and then it quickly became like, kind of like an interaction like with the strangers, like where they're people intruding, you know, and then it went to like a really weird place at the end where it's kind of there's like psychological not fatigue, but like she's like completely stuck in her head, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, we keep saying we might as well fucking say it. You know what I mean? Because we're going to confuse whoever's fucking watching this at the moment. So Gabriel is essentially a parasite on...
A parasitic twin.
Twin.
How they defined him.
Yeah. A parasitic twin on the back of this woman that they...
Well, it's not just on the back. So...
Well, it's like the back and the head.
Well, so he started at the head.
Well, that's not what it showed in the thing.
That's what it showed there.
No.
Yeah.
It didn't start that it showed at the head. They saw the whole back of the girl.
No, but what I'm saying is when he grew starting from the head. Starting from the head.
Are you sure? Because from what I remember, that was the part that they couldn't take out.
They couldn't take
that's
that.
why they condensed
They couldn't take it out
skull.
because that was the most. It was intertwined with her body.
Yeah.
And he was another twin. That's where they were formed. That's where it started.
Yeah. So the adult version of Madison has a parasitic twin that woken up in her head and is capable of controlling her body at will.
Yeah, I believe so.
At will.
So Gabriel can control her. He can control her body, and then like he also can change her perception of reality.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of we'll get into that with a framework.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool transitions there.
And I like the idea of that, and I like where the writers were going with that. But I don't like how they executed it.
I feel like there was just too much going on.
There was
if they needed to kill something. There was just too much happening there.
Yeah.
And that's why the movie kind of felt like it was all over the place.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of a swing and a miss. Yeah,
it was a swing and a miss for me with the writing. let's move on to our next section. Score.
I'm actually, you know
I like
what?
I like the music.
I like the music.
I like the music. It was
The music
very
was
horror,
actually
very horror-esque. I loved it.
On point.
It was on point
with the movie.
Mm.
That's probably one of the only thing
It was one of the saving. It was one of the saving graces of the movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely one of those things that I liked about the movie. For the most part, the movie wasn't too capturing for me, but the music went well for what was going on. You know what I mean? There was different parts of the movie where it was just, you know, it fit in so well.
Okay. So score. You enjoyed the score, right?
So the music was really good. I enjoyed everything was on point. Everything I had no problems with the composer. His name is actually Joseph Bishara. I can't remember what other things he's done, but I know that he's done a few other things also. This guy is actually really good when it comes to music being on key with movies. I know he's done other movies. Just none of it comes to mind right now. And Joseph, I'm sorry, man. I am a fan. I just can't think of anything at the moment. Yeah, that's how I feel about the score.
Yeah. Okay. No, I really enjoyed the score. It was, it really reminded me of like an 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, like the parts where like Gabriel was like jumping in on people, or not jumping in, but just like he would appear in the background.
Yeah.
They had that like that old school like horror slasher sound, and then he would like disappear. And that's cool, you know. So I really, really enjoyed that. So way to go on the score. At least you didn't fuck that up.
I know, right? You got one.
It's so fucked up. All right, so now we're gonna move on to direction. So the movie was directed by James Wan. So he's known for doing some serious movies. So that's why I was so bummed out when I watched it. I was just like, it's kind of lame. So, there we go. He's known for doing The Conjuring 2, the original Saw movie. I guess he did Fast and Furious 7, gay. Aquaman, lame. Insidious Chapter 3. I love Insidious.
So Jason's no fucking.
He's no newbie to horror movies.
Yeah, he's no newbie to fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
He obviously knows those fucking horror movies are actually really good. You know what I mean? I actually enjoyed some of those horror movies. Fucking spooky.
Okay, so look here. Okay, for Insidious, he was an actor, but he directed the other ones: Conjuring, Furious, Insidious 2.
I know he directed this one, and I believe he produced
those three
this
Insidious.
one too.
He also directed the first Conjuring. He's done quite a few of these.
You see what I'm saying?
Dead Silence. Have you seen Dead Silence,
dude? With all these movies he has in the bag, I would have thought
this movie should have been great.
It should have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, this movie should have been great.
I just don't know what happened.
Have you seen Dead Silence though?
I've seen parts of Dead Silence.
Fucking love that movie. You guys have not seen that? That's gonna be our recommendation for this week. Not this movie. Go see Dead Silence.
Yes, Dead Silence.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys already know what her rating. Her rating is not gonna be that good.
Yeah. It's. But again, stay with us to the end.
Stay with us to the end. Stay with us till the end. We're having fun here
because we have a lot to say.
Yeah. So let's move on to our next subject, or next category. I'm sorry. Practical effects and computer graphics. So there are a lot of computer graphics in this movie.
There's a lot of computer graphics. There's a few.
There's a
practical
few
effects?
practical effects.
Like the carriage moving?
There's some parts where Gabriel is like the scene where Gabriel stabs he stabs the one of the doctors in the face over his bed. He's kind of hunched over. That's all practical.
That's practical
Yes.
effects.
And then there's I believe that scene where you first see him in the intro, I believe that's practical.
What do you mean? The hair when it comes like that ball of hair that comes out.
No. In the intro when she says let's cut this cancer out. I believe it's practical.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to I have to watch it again.
I guess I paid too much attention to like the digital effects.
But there's
on
a
that
lot.
because
There's a lot of interesting effects in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of computer generated effects. There's some scenes in the holding cell that are practical, that are pretty impressive.
Okay, I can see that. I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like. I thought was kind of cool, but the effects when Gabriel was fighting all those cops in the precinct, I didn't like those scenes very much. You know what I mean? Where it made him look like
It became a martial arts movie.
Yeah, it came like a martial art movie, and then at points it was just digital.
One parasitic twin.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, I understand that like Gabriel is like talented, but like that he just can kill all those cops, and the cops just can't shoot him. That's the thing I never understand, right? So the cops have guns. They've done training with the guns. It's actually not that hard to shoot somebody.
What's her face shot like 3 shotgun shots at him, and not one fucking hit him.
Yeah, 0. I'm not sure if they know how shotgun shells work, but they spread. Got good spread.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
I wasn't a fan of that fucking fight scene.
I liked the fight scene is appealing to the eye, but it didn't need to be there.
The graphics in it didn't go with the flow of the movie.
I just don't think the whole
at that point it wasn't a horror movie.
It didn't need to be there.
Yeah,
for sure. Because
at that point it wasn't a fucking horror movie.
It became an action / martial arts movie at that point.
Most horror movies
don't have
people
a fight
don't
scene.
even believe that the fucking thing exists.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So I mean, you guys are losing another one for practical effects.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ.
All right, so let's do suspense build up, so like tension. Did you really?
I was actually okay with it. I was actually
for
okay.
Which parts? Which parts did you actually feel
So,
like there was build up?
The build up to where she finds out that Gabriel is actually in his head. I mean, in her head. You know what I mean? Because she doesn't yet see as Gabriel as part of her. She sees Gabriel as he's following me. And the build up to her realizing that Gabriel is actually a part of her, when she realizes all that shit, and then was able to control Gabriel in his own fucking game.
That's not what we're talking. That's not literally the category we're talking about here. I'm talking about suspense. So,
how is that not suspenseful?
I don't think that's suspenseful. I'm talking about like the horror buildup, the suspense buildup.
Well, for Gabriel, that probably was horrifying. To have somebody else fucking.
But I'm not talking about for Gabriel. Fuck that guy. I'm talking about for the audience, for us.
That's all I
watching
have
this
because
movie.
I don't have any suspense in this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's none. There's no tension. There's no horror buildup. The only part that I thought was kind of creepy and had a little bit of tension there was in the beginning when Gabriel killed
the
husband, and then came
crooked hand,
and then came peering over.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, it's starting to get good. And then Gabriel chased, and then they showed too much, man. Less is more. Less is fucking more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Some people won't fucking know
the
that.
fear of the unknown is it's such a big thing. So don't show too much. If you show too much, the audience is gonna become numb to that particular entity, and just they're not going to be afraid of it.
Yeah, no, there was, that was a little spooky in the beginning, but then from there on, it lost me.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly.
Yeah, there's other than that was literally the only scene where I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And the rest was just like it was super lackluster. There was no tension, no nothing. They used jump scares, and we don't have jump scares as a category. We're just gonna mention it throughout the show. Maybe there's not that many in here actually. I think there's only like 3 or 4 jump scares. Really?
Maybe I don't know.
There's not many.
Nothing really scared me, so I can't tell. I do want to go back really quick and say one more thing about the digital graphics. When the room starts to change.
Not on that anymore.
When the room starts to change. I got to give that one, okay?
Okay, fine. That's all right. So the first time it happens. So the first time it happens when the room transitions and then Maddie is seeing what Gabriel wants her to see.
Yes.
That part's really cool.
Okay, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's
really cool. I didn't want to, like, I'm trying to find things for this movie, okay?
Yeah, okay. We're not backtracking that far.
We're not backtracking. I just wanted to give this, for this movie. Yeah. It's just, it wasn't.
That's a good, we'll cheers to that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
There's another one I'm going to cheers to later. Coming soon. All right. Let's move on to the classic horror trope, the chase scene.
I actually had...
because there's a big fucking chase scene in this movie.
I was actually really happy with that chase scene.
Yeah, I was watching it
for a horror movie,
and I was like, man, he's gonna love this.
That was fucking awesome.
It was a pretty good chase scene. So this is where they start making up. The chase scene was pretty good.
Detective, what is it, Cacao or Keiko or whatever?
Cacao.
Whatever. That dude fucking chasing Gabriel all the way down the freaking the fire escape ladder. Down the alley, through freaking tunnels and shit. It was so awesome. Him trying to shoot at him putting up a fight and everything all like that. It was so fucking good. I enjoyed the fight scene. The chase scene.
I think the biggest question is, are those fucking tunnels? Is that real? I didn't even look it up because I watched the movie both times actually. At about 12:30 a.m. And I was like, I'm not gonna look it up. I'm too tired, so I'll look it up later. Maybe we'll let you know on another episode. Stay tuned. But I really questioned whether or not that was real. That they built the rest of the city on top of the old city, because that's what the mom did. She did tours of like the old city, so they would go underneath, and there was like carriages and shit. There was like cobblestone. I'm like, I wonder if that's fucking real.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be insane? Because then if that's real, we could go to Seattle and just go see that tour.
That would be pretty awesome if that was real.
That'd be pretty fucking sweet.
That was real.
That'd be pretty fucking sweet.
I mean, that would be awesome if that was real. But you mentioned that was her mom, right?
Yeah.
That was Madison's mom.
Yes. Her biological mother.
Not
the the person who adopted her.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. So the chase scene was great.
Chase scene was awesome. I love
fucking the chase. Point.
So good. So fucking
good. So we're gonna move on to the next category, which would be gore. Not Al Gore. Yeah. Gore.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of gore.
Annie is not a fan of gore.
I am not a big fan of gore.
He's a fucking little
fucking gore.
He's a little bitch.
My thing, but I can appreciate the fact that if it does make me feel a certain way, obviously they're doing a good fucking job at what it is that they're doing. And I gotta say, with what I saw in this movie, I was like,
I think
is that ketchup? Is that ketchup? I'm like. None of it looked very real to me. A lot of the cuts that they had on there,
there were some bad ones.
There was some bad
ones.
There were some real bad ones. You know what I mean?
I think one of the best scenes that was kind of gory was when she killed not the main doctor, not the female, but the next one, her second victim, or Gabriel's second victim.
Yeah.
That one I think had the best gore, because it was a very wide panned out shot. Gabriel's got the spider thing over him and is doing the backwards arm stabbing right in the face, and you could just see it happening.
Well, for me, I don't know if this counts as gore per se, but is when Gabriel starts to show himself, when she starts to pull her head. Open.
I think that counts. That's gore.
Does that count as
That counts.
gore? Okay, well,
Yeah.
that one, to me, that one
So in the
takes a cake for me right
when they're
there.
at the
when they're inside the jail
in the
cell.
jail cell.
And then Gabriel
holding cell.
decides the holding cell, and Gabriel decides to show himself. So she pulls her hair apart, and the skull starts to open up, and Gabriel's face shows.
Well, she's
out
not
of
just
there.
pulling her hair. Her skull's cracked.
The entire freaking back of her head is coming out, and Gabriel's face is pushing through, and that for me,
He's like, here's Johnny.
yeah, exactly. That for me, that looked fucking believable as shit. That actually was pretty spooky for me. So I think that was the best part of it, as far as gore goes. The other stuff was
pretty good.
The other stuff
That was a pretty good
but
scene.
That one was.
That's a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. The rest of that scene though in the holding cell is just what? I didn't. It was too much.
To me, it's still like, how does
It's too
Gabriel
much.
know how to fucking fight? And he's using somebody else's body. Does she even go to the gym? Like,
Right?
does she stretch?
He's all bitch. You need.
He's all like, oh,
some
you need to get on a
curls."
diet or some shit. You fucking heavy or something.
Right? You need to hit that elliptical, bitch.
Be able to, can you imagine? He fucking pulls a hammy. Oh, god damn. You didn't say you were hurt. You know what I mean?
I love that. He's like climbing down the fire escape, and he fucks up. He's like, he has a cramp.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? You see him limping here and there, but he's also got super strength and able to conjure it through this body for whatever reason.
That's because I can get the strength part because he's able to control her brain at such a high level that he can access full force.
I can see that
He can
just
access
because
full force.
he throws his voice in freaking radios.
He turns all those receptors off, the pain
yeah.
receptors. That's the whole reason that human beings can't use 100% of their strength is because they put these pain receptors in place to know that when you exert too much force, you also damage your body.
No. I got you. I got you on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The gore.
Yeah.
It was a little lackluster. I did like that. Like I said, I like that one scene.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's whatever.
That is probably like my favorite scene as far as gore goes.
Let's go with framework. So I like this category because in a lot of like classic horror movies,
All right, I'm gonna let you go with this
frameworks.
because I don't pay
a really
attention
big
too much with
thing.
framework.
So when I mention framework, I'm really talking about like camera angles, and you know when they introduce like perspective and they try and hide like or they try and put like a focal point of a camera on a specific spot and maybe introduce a little bit of shadows. And one of the biggest one, which I guess was in the trailer, I don't know because I didn't watch it, was the dollhouse view. So that's the top view, and Madison's running through the house, and you're looking directly down into the scenery. It's one of my favorite shots, I think probably ever, because it's one continuous shot when she's running through the house, and it's so unique, you know. I'm just trying to think of like how you would frame that up, you know. That's an incredibly difficult shot to pull off, and she has to do it in
Would
one
it
take.
suck for you if I told you that shit was digital?
That'd be fine. I still would be okay with it because the concept is still there.
The concept's still there.
The concept
I can appreciate
is
the
still
concept of
there.
it.
It is so good.
I was just wondering if it
so
would
good.
suck if it was.
If it was digital, if it was 100% digital, fine. I mean, maybe it was like, we can't afford it. We're just gonna do it in post, and we'll just have her run into a room, and then we'll chop it together, and then we'll have her run to another room, and we'll chop it together, that's doable.
All right,
you know?
cool. Because I don't know if it was digital. I was just fucking wondering if it was fucking digital.
But the way it's shot, it looks like it's one continuous shot. So I fucking enjoyed that a fuck ton. I'm trying to think of another frame up that I liked as much as that one, but I can't really think of one. That one is the one that stood out the most.
See, that kind of stuff, when it comes to framework and stuff like that, I let him take the fucking thing because I don't really pay too much attention when it comes to
Manny's
framework.
like, don't care. Show me gore.
I hate gore. Why would you say gore?
Because I want you to watch it, dude.
Shut the fuck up. I like the more action scene kind of ordeal.
Oh, so you like that fight scene with the cops?
I didn't. Okay, I like action scenes. In a horror movie, the action scene is when they're fucking doing their whole.
When they're fucking?
I'm gonna eat you and fucking. I'm gonna fucking get you. The whole chasing after the victim. That's the action scene. Why should a fucking a horror fucking monster be fighting like Jackie Chan or Chet Li inside of a fucking...
Yeah, that's a little much. So
yeah, so
I got to touch back on that, but framework was great.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed. There were some good shots too. I mean, that one was the one that stood out the most. There's another one that I kind of liked a little bit where the Prius pulls into the driveway when Madison comes back to her home. So it's like a wide panned out shot, and then it hits the track and then follows the Prius into the driveway, but at a wide frame angle, so you could still see the house the whole time. So that was really cool. All right, so we're gonna go back into. Oh, we're doing framework. And so yeah, it was a wide pan shot with the Prius, and you see the focal point is the house the whole time. So that was another one I really enjoyed. I'm trying to think of any other shots that were so super creative. I mean, that's the one thing about horror movies is they have to use framework to build tension, to build a little bit of fear, and also present a little something that is unknown. So
yeah,
framework is very important for horror movies. It's why I wanted to include it in this episode. And that one stood out a lot. It's such a great shot.
Yeah.
Such a great shot. But, I can't really think of any more than those ones that I really enjoyed. I guess the fight scene is kind of notable, but it's 100% computer generated. Like if you watch it, it's not good.
Yeah, let's not go back to the fight scene.
Yeah, it's
let's
not
move
good.
on to something different.
Oh, I'm just saying.
That's actually...
I'm just saying, but it is, if you watch it, they tried to frame it up so it'd be unique, but there's so much computer generation there that it's not unique.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I don't want to...
So we're going to pass on that.
I don't want to go back
Those
to the
those
fucking
two are
fight
probably
scene,
the most notable in this. So now we're going to go into the... Don't go in there.
Yeah, don't fucking go in there. Why do people...
Category.
Why do they always got to go in there? Why? Every fucking horror... None of you have any fucking sense. You guys all got to fucking go in there?
I don't understand it, dude. So what is it with white folk? Let us know in the comment.
Ooh, I'm going to go check out what that sound is.
I'm going to go see what that
I'm going to go see what that fucking... I hear a chainsaw. Did somebody leave a chainsaw fucking on? I'm going to go turn it off.
I always think of Eddie Murphy in his stand-up Delirious when he's all, I love this house. This is a great house. And he hears, get out. Too bad we can't stay, baby. Too bad we can't stay.
Too bad we can't stay here. You see, that fucker knows. He heard something. He's not fucking staying there.
I fucking love that.
You kidding me?
Yeah, I don't fucking...
Why?
I don't understand it. This is like...
Fucking
it's always lost
why?
on me. It's always lost on me.
So fucking bizarre to me why you would make a movie where a person has to go check out.
I'm going to go check that
fucking
creepy sound unarmed. I'll be right back.
And you know what I'm talking about.
You never say I'll be right back. You never say I'll be right back.
No, you know what fucking scene I'm talking about too. I'm pretty sure you know what fucking scene I'm talking about in this fucking movie. Okay? She's turning off all the lights. Okay? She turns the light off in the fucking tunnel. She hears a bang. You're right there next to the fucking lights. Turn the lights back on if you want to see. Why? Hello? Is somebody there? Hello? And you walk towards the dark.
You know what's crazy?
You can't be here.
That's not even the scene I was thinking of.
I was thinking of that fucking scene.
That's not even the scene I was thinking of.
You weren't thinking of that one?
That's a good one too. That is a good one too. That's
fucking
a good one.
hello.
That's
walking,
a fucking good one
you're
too.
underground in a fucking tunnel that's fucking pitch black that you just turned the lights off for. And you're walking because you hear something and you think it might be a person So you keep on walking thinking it might be a person. What if this person has like a fucking gun or something? You keep walking towards the sound. Like, bitch, turn on the fucking light.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
Don't go in
That
there.
is legitimately some white people shit.
Oh my God.
So the scene I was talking about is when we're thinking about was when fucking Sydney goes to when she goes to the institution by herself.
Oh
night.
my God. Oh
Like,
my God.
Are you fucking it was actually kind of a letdown that nothing happened there. I'm like, she went there and nothing happened. I was thoroughly disappointed because there was so much potential there.
Hey, how lucky was it that the first box that she pulled off that fucking shelf
What
just so happens to be her sister's fucking box, right?
Yeah.
She didn't go through a whole bunch of shit.
Well, I mean, they planned it. So.
You know what I mean?
They planned it. It was like Robin Hood Men in Tights. So like, he gets another shot. They're like, wait, what? He gets another shot.
He gets another shot.
He gets another shot.
Gets another shot. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
definitely,
that one was definitely one of them. But I think my tunnel scene
it's probably better.
is
I think
probably better.
because there's actual threat there.
There's actual
There's
threat.
actual threat there.
You hear something, you think it's someone, and you still fucking go and try to check it out. Turn the light back on.
Yep.
And yet, I understand she runs back to the light to turn it back on. But why not turn it on the first time you fucking turned it off and heard something?
It's a good question.
Don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
A lot to say. You know what I mean?
there's a lot to say there, especially about that. It's like, I don't understand. Seriously though, when are they going to make those tropes like?
I don't know, man.
When are they going to make those tropes realistic?
It's those.
Because who in their right mind would do that? There's like, and even like, look at fucking Madison when she goes back to her home that she was attacked in. Her husband was murdered. She saw it happen. Well, she didn't see it happen, but she saw the aftermath, right?
Yeah.
And then she saw the person that killed her husband.
Oh shit! I gotta go do laundry.
Yeah.
I gotta.
And then there was that one.
laundry to
There was
do.
one of the jump scares right there.
And
someone ran by?
she lost her baby. By the way, she was pregnant and she lost her baby. And her husband died.
Well, she lost her baby,
But she's
so
got to
that's
go
a
do some.
plus.
She's got to go do some laundry.
That's a plus.
That's shut the fuck up. You are so what's fucking wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
What, man?
You-
Now she has time to do stuff now.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Anyway. Yeah.
But
man.
yeah, don't go in there.
Don't go in
It's
Don't go in there.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, what'd you think of the movie? All around, what'd you think of the movie? Think it was okay?
I think we should talk about the outro really quick before we.
Want to talk about the outro?
Yeah, let's do the outro first.
Let's do the outro then.
So the last 15 minutes of the film,
Because I wasn't a fan of the fucking outro.
you were a fan
I
of?
was not a fan
I was
of
about
the
to say.
fucking outro.
I think this was probably the part I liked the least of the movie. It was definitely the outro. So it ended in a way that was like, it didn't match up to the horror category, and they threw in some elements there that really were just inspired by, for sure.
Detective Keiko, only you can stop him. Where the fuck was he at the end of it all? He wasn't even in the frame. He wasn't there. He wasn't there for nothing.
He wasn't.
He went
wasn't
to
there.
go do some shit,
He wasn't there.
but we didn't see him at the end of that.
So the movie ends with Gabriel goes to the hospital and he goes to kill the mother, the biological mother. And then Sydney shows up and she's going to see the mom. And then Gabriel shows up. And then, the fucking cop that was watching the mother's room has a pacemaker. When Gabriel shows up, all the lights go crazy. He's like, "Oh, my pacemaker," and it blows the fuck up, and it's all over the place. Which
Actually, that was pretty cool. I
feel like there should have been more there.
There should have been a hell of a lot more, but I thought
I don't
that
think
was
a hell of a
actually-
lot more, but just it shouldn't have been. I don't know if you noticed, it was dark. It was like a really dark red, and I was like, it wouldn't be that dark yet.
Budget wasn't very high for this movie. Let me tell you.
Whatever.
So.
Well, we'll go over that shit in a minute. You fuck.
Yeah. But anyway, keep going.
So yeah, the guy's fucking heart blows up, and then Sydney's like, "Oh my god!" And then Gabriel's like, "I got a blade, bitch." And so he fucking shows up, cuts Sydney. She tries to go into the room, close the door. He kicks it open. He's like, "This is Sparta," and then kicks the door open. And he goes in to kill the mother, and then fucking and at the same time, Madison is there in the mind, right? Like, but she can't do anything. She can only watch. And the mom tells fucking Gabriel to not kill Sydney and all this bullshit. And so he pauses. So now he's stopped for a second because now the mother has her monologue. You know, there's always a monologue.
There's always a monologue.
That needs to be a category.
That is gonna
be the next one because
there's always fucking category.
There's always a monologue, especially in horror movies. There's always a monologue.
There's a monologue for horror movies, action movies, gangster movies. We're probably gonna put this in just because we're not thinking about this.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Thank you. And then as the mother is talking to Gabriel and telling him, "Oh, I shouldn't have given you up. I shouldn't have done this bullshit. I should have done meth." Detective Shaw shows up, right? And he fucking shoots Gabriel twice. So he hits Gabriel twice. And then we see a shot of Madison, and she looks down, and there's a hole that you can clearly see through. So the wound is there. But then fucking Gabriel's like, he's like, "What the fuck, bitch?" And he turns and he throws the blade at Shaw, and it hits him kind of like where your heart is. So I'm assuming he hit him in the heart because that's the last time we see Shaw. It literally is.
That was the last time we saw Shaw.
It's literally the last time we see Shaw. He's like, "Ah," and then
don't know if he's alive. Don't know if he's dead. Don't know.
And then what happens is fucking Madison pulls Shaw's gun and then goes to like shoot Gabriel, and Gabriel's like, shoot me. And then he's all, "Fuck you." And then throws those heavy ass fucking hospital beds, which are ridiculously heavy. Have you ever even tried to move?
Well, most of it is all fucking machine, dude.
Yeah, it's all machines.
Yeah.
There's a motor and shit. Like,
you have a bed that's, kind of comfortable, I guess.
It's not comfortable.
But then you have the rest of it, which is a giant fucking machine. That thing clearly weighs probably like a ton.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a ton, but it's easily like 500 pounds.
500 pounds.
Yeah, it's easily 500 pounds. And he fucking tosses it. He just throws it at Madison, lands on her.
Madison?
I'm sorry, not Madison, Sydney.
There you go.
Hits Sydney, right? And she's like, Australia. And she fucking drops the gun and shit.
Australia.
And there's blood coming out of her face. Some damage has been done to her. I mean, her legs are probably crushed as fuck. And then, Madison's like, "No." And then Gabriel's like, "I'm going to cap you, bitch." And then Sydney's all like, "He ate your babies." Basically, he used Madison's unborn fetuses as nutrients to like kind of keep himself alive so he can come back and fulfill his revenge.
That's so fucked up. That is so fucked up.
I would have done it too.
Jesus, he's so fucked up.
But
you're so fucked up. I'm gonna cut you off, dude.
But what happens is Gabriel's holding the gun towards Madison or Sydney, I'm sorry, and then the mom's like, "No," and then he uses his pinky, I think, and shoots her in the head, and then he gets up and he goes to go to kill the mom. And then the room transitions, kind of like the same thing that happened to Madison.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What? Oh no!" And then Madison's like, "I can do the same mind tricks that you can." Like, it's super cheesy.
It was.
I was like
corny.
watching this, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious right now?"
Super corny.
And then she said, and then Gabriel's like, "Oh, you need me. I can use his body better than you." And she's like, "No, I'm just gonna lock you in here." And then there's not a metaphorical, but just like a mental like cage, not cage, but like prison, I guess. And then she has Gabriel in there, and then she's like,
locked up.
and yeah, she locks him in, and she's like, and the next time you come, I'll be ready, and slams the gate. And he's like, hits it. He's like, fuck you, bring me KFC, and like,
What is with your little fucking tidbits in between all that shit? Jesus
bitch, I've been
Christ.
drinking.
Yes, you have.
So
So by that time, they've all been fucking. They've all been going through this whole thing where now Madison is taking over and she's taking control of the body, where she's locked away Gabriel. So now she's gonna go and lift off the hospital bed off of her sister, and then her sister go, "Oh, it's too heavy," and then she go, and this line was fucking cheesy as shit.
like the whole last 15 minutes of
And
this
he go, and she goes,
cheesy as balls.
"Whatever strength he has, I have it also in my body." And then she lifts up the
Yeah,
fucking.
because it's the same body.
Yeah.
I get the logic, but they could have written that better.
They could have written it a hell of a lot better.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, that probably would have been better, actually. But
I would have loved that at the end.
and then the scene starts to pan back from that situation because her and her sister start to hug. And as the camera starts to pan back from everything, I guess you hear a buzzing from.
Well, no.
one of the-
Okay, so there's the focal point is Madison and Sydney, and so that's in the background. I don't know. You're looking at the camera here. So the frame is here, and Madison and Sydney are here, and then it starts. The focal point's on them, and then it starts to pan off and at an angle. And when it gets to about here, you see the lamp from the hospital, and then it pans out a little bit further than the lamp. And then you hear the flicker, and then cut, end of movie. That's it. That is literally how the fucking movie ends. And I was like, what happened to Shaw, dude? And he's like, I'm a hero. And then fucking, they killed the shit out of that dude. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Probably.
He took like an 8-inch blade to the chest where his heart should be.
Yeah, I guarantee that he's probably dead.
Yeah, he should. He didn't really help the situation. Well, I guess he kind of did because he wounded Gabriel and then gave Sydney the gun. So that would then Sydney told Madison that he ate your babies. So
Oh yeah.
I guess he played a small role.
Small role.
We love you for your stupid sacrifice.
Yeah.
This is what fucking drove me nuts when I was watching it was when she locked Gabriel in the mental cage, right?
Yeah.
I was like, did the fucking writers just finish watching Naruto like that night?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh, they're fucking holding up Akuma back there too, huh?
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. I was like, this is some bullshit. Yeah. But I mean, I did not enjoy the last 15 minutes of the movie. The fucking, it was almost anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Almost. So it was such a disappointment. So, I mean, this movie was start to finish, not great. It had moments that I enjoyed.
Yeah, it did have moments that I enjoyed, but it
moments that I
wasn't.
enjoyed.
I don't. Again, I don't think I need to watch this movie again after watching it the first time. So, I mean,
It's a bummer because I actually like the concept. I think the concept is good. I just think they needed a better writing team.
yeah, it definitely needed to be better. For
I would
sure.
actually be okay with the shitty acting, right?
No.
I think I would be okay with the shitty acting.
No.
So if they wrote it a different way and they made it kind of like a horror slasher film, it would have been better. And then the shitty acting would be okay because that fits right into that trope. That fits
man, if
right
I'm
into
looking
that
for a
category.
fucking scary movie, I'm looking for a scary movie with
But that's
believable
the thing. That's the
acting
thing
in it. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I
didn't believe any of them were fucking scary.
that movie shouldn't be scary. It shouldn't be a scary movie. That should be a slasher film.
Well, it's
It
fucking
should have been
in
a
there.
slasher
It's
film.
in there as a fucking scary movie.
Well, just because it's classified as horror, but all slasher films are considered horror movies.
Well, slasher films aren't even
There's not a category for it. There's not a category for it.
It's a horror.
Make a fucking category for slasher only. Because slasher movies are considered horror because they contain elements of fear and gore.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean,
but they're considered
but they're not
horror,
but they're
movie.
not scary. They contain some elements of that, but they're not scary.
They have scary parts in
Yeah.
them, but it's not scary.
I mean,
It's more thriller like.
Yeah, I mean, what's fucking scarier? I mean, let's take Friday the 13th versus The Exorcist. Those are both technically horror films.
Yep.
What's scarier? The Exorcist 100%.
Yeah.
Right?
Exorcist.
Yeah, so I mean, fucking Friday the 13th should have its own that type of film should have its own category. It doesn't really fit into horror, you know?
I don't know, man. That was pretty
Shitty?
horrifying too.
No, it's not.
It's fucking. You're talking about Michael Myers, and he pops up out of
Friday the 13th.
Sorry, Friday the 13th.
Not Halloween, you dipshit.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Wrong one. I apologize. But again, we're talking about Friday the 13th. And the fucking killer just so happens to be
A hillbilly.
I guess a hillbilly.
Well, I guess in one it's his mom, and then everything after that is Jason.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
We're talking about a guy
But it's a fucking it's a guy. It's an inbred psychopath, which is fine.
Jumpsuit.
Those exist already.
fucking-
So that's a real fear. I get that, but it's not. That's not like there's not elements there of like supernatural or even like paranormal. You know, like, there's nothing there. So why didn't they just make it a slasher film? Because they tried to introduce that in the beginning, and then strayed away from it. Fuck it.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how we feel about this movie, and I gotta say, I wasn't too thrilled with the movie. There was some points that had okay, but other than that, it was not all there for me. What about you?
I didn't like it that much. It was whatever.
Yeah, it was just, it was just a movie to watch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it. But I don't recommend wasting your time on the movie.
No,
But
I'm not
again,
gonna say- I'm not gonna say
say,
that. I'm not gonna say that.
it's for somebody.
It's for somebody.
Okay, it's
for sure, it's for somebody.
But
Because
for me,
when I first heard about this movie, I only heard it from two different people. One person said that he really enjoyed it. Another person said he fucking hated it.
yeah,
Both opposite ends. I
Yeah.
didn't watch any trailers. I didn't do any of that nonsense. I just watched the movie. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna waste my time watching a trailer. I'm just gonna watch the movie. And I have
Yeah.
two people that I talk to regularly. Then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just watch the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, how about we give it our score? What are we rating this movie as? Because if I'm going to rate this movie right now,
What are you gonna
it's
rate it?
not going to be very high.
What's not very high?
It's actually, you know what? I rated the last movie. You go for it.
Did you rate the last movie?
I did rate the last movie. I think I did.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember. But go anyway.
Okay. Well, this one I'm gonna rate this 2 Kevin Sorbos.
2 Kevin Sorbos. I was also going to go to Kevin Sorbos. Not a big fan of the movie. It's like I said, it had its moments, but I wasn't a very big fan of the movie. So 2 Kevin Sorbos for me also. That's how I'm rating the movie as well.
But like I said, movies are subjective, and not everyone's gonna enjoy movies on the same level. That's the whole point.
And just because I don't like it doesn't mean that somebody else isn't going to like this movie.
100%.
Yeah.
One movie that I've seen that I kind of like, and I kind of want to rewatch it again was this. I believe it's even lower than the B movie, like a C movie. I think came out in the 90s, like 90. 94, 95, I think. It's called Mosquito. It's completely shot out in the wilderness in that little cabin.
I have never even heard of that one.
shitty practical effects, all this stuff, but it's just entertaining. So it's a completely shitty movie, but it's entertaining. So I mean, there are movies that are 100% for somebody, and this one was just not for the two of us, which is kind of a bummer because I really wanted to like this movie, especially since it was James Wan that
exactly.
That's kind of
I wanted to like it also, but
yeah. And with that, let's roll the credits and turn those house lights on and discuss this movie in a parking lot over smoke.
If you like our content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Then ring the little bell so you can see, that little bell that's down here. Get all the notifications on new or upcoming videos.
And if you have a movie in mind that you would like us to critique, send us an email at nyec.gse@gmail.com. Like we mentioned earlier, our passion for film is basically an addiction, so new movies are always welcome.
So until the next silver screen event, stay safe and happy movie going.
Bitches.
Bitches.